friends, and welcome to the League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today we're talking about the Witch Between Worlds, Aurora, who will be released July 17th, 2024.
Wait, is she coming out
we got in early
before
on
the
this
game
one.
mode?
I don't know. I just know she's not out yet.
I don't know what the release date is. Yeah.
The game mode,
That's
I
all
thought the
know is
new
that I
game mode
haven't
was
played her and I can't play her.
the 16th.
Oh, is
Soon.
it?
I
Oh,
thought
okay,
so.
okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
There you go.
I know I sometimes like to listen to their theme songs as I'm reading their bios and stuff. It's not out yet.
Oh,
I'm like, it's
Oh, is
probably
it
going to be
really
a good
not?
one,
Damn.
too.
I'm curious how
Yeah.
close it's going to be to the background music of the in-client game.
I don't remember that,
that's a
because I
good
did play
question.
it like a while ago when it was first.
Which, if you're
Oh.
I was
interested,
just...
I'm going to have a video up on the YouTube channel of my whole playthrough of that game.
Nice.
So, maybe
Oh,
it'll
nice.
coincide with the launch. Full disclosure, the audio is awful. the
Really
bal-
selling it.
The
Yeah.
balance is not great. If you want to hear the audio of the event, oh man, it's the video for you. If you want to hear anything that I'm fucking saying, nope, not the one for you. So
man, it's gonna be
perfect for some folks.
It's going to have our most
Man, you
views
should
yet.
you should have put it out before, because I was rewatching it today, because I was like you said, Rebecca, we played it the moment it came out, and I didn't quite remember a lot of the little details. So I found a lot of videos of people skipping through all the dialogue and talking over everything, and finally found one of some guy taking the time. He hears each dialogue, didn't say a fucking word. God bless whoever that channel is. I wish I knew it off the top of my head. But did me a solid on that one.
It really reminds you how many people don't care about the lore, huh?
Right.
Thanks, y'all, for being here.
You know what I was struck by?
Well, go ahead.
When we talk about it after, I was struck by how many guides there are for that in-client game.
There were guys?
There are a lot of guys.
Guides. There's a lot of them.
I would think,
I
like,
was
one
you
is
know,
acceptable.
Sure, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. Is it though? I don't know. Maybe that's mean.
No, I get it.
It's like a 20-minute little.
I figured it all out without help, and I'm so bad at puzzles, but I don't know.
Now, here's the thing. I would accept a guide for how to play through the fire and flames on Ornn's little instrument. That's acceptable. Because I did see a video of that, and that was cool.
That was pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's.
No
okay.
judgment
It's
to
okay
you
if
if
you
you
had to use a
couldn't
guide.
finish it.
Yeah, no judgment. That's okay.
I'm so, oh my god, yeah,
Just watch
literally,
John's.
if you needed a guide, I'm so sorry.
Fucking dicks.
Fucking toxic over here. Honestly, League of Legends has fucked me up.
Gatekeeping puzzle games. Alright, anyway, what does she sound like?
I said it when I heard y'all listening to the quotes as we were getting set up, and I said it was like, hey, y'all listening to just a regular 16-year-old girl who just happens to be in the failure. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me that much, but sure, I'll go. I didn't write down a quote. Fuck, hold on. I looked at them earlier, but what did she say?
Right,
she says something.
do you want me to go?
Okay.
All right, go for it.
Yeah,
you
go
lead
for
us
it.
off.
Okay, I'll try to channel my 16-year-old self. I've exceeded my capacity for social interaction today.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
Okay, she's got one that's like I woke up early for this.
Ooh, another spirit. Wow, look at you. Oh, you're going that way. Okay, we'll talk later.
I did like that she had a couple of quotes that are like directed at allies, and then as you're parting ways from each other, she's like, okay, bye! I agree that she does kind of, sound like a 16-year-old girl, but it did work for me. I like her quotes a lot, actually. Because I'm fine with someone just kind of sounding like a teenager, because they exist. I don't know.
I kind of dug it. Like, I would say visually, I was expecting something more like ethereal almost, but I'm kind of glad they didn't go with that, because we do have a lot of ethereal lady voices.
Yeah,
in
ethereal
League
lady.
already.
It's like, it's a little quirky without being overly quirky, is kind of how I was feeling about it. We picked some very Vex-like quotes
That I was
by
just thinking that,
accident.
'cause the other one I chose was like, the sounds, the smells, I hate it, which is also very Vex.
But she's just she's an autistic character and gets like overstimulated, and like that's kind of where she's going for with a lot of these things, which I really like. But yeah, I don't. But when I was trying to think of her voice, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Like I can't pick a specific thing. This isn't like Karthus where I'm like, what does he sound like?
It's kind of like trying to do like impressions of cartoon characters, but it's something like Layla, or God, why did I just completely blank on it? The Futurama lady,
Leela.
I was like, no, it's not Lilu, but just someone who just has like a regular voice.
Yeah.
They're always the hardest ones to do.
Sure,
Yeah.
I suppose that's fair. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just like it feels too. It felt to me too disconnected from the character design, and it felt too. I think that combined with some of the way that the lines are written, it really reads to me. It really feels to me a little off from. I guess, like I said, the visuals that I see. It's hard because like the experience we had with her before was the in-client thing where she doesn't actually talk.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like I think it misses some of the I don't know, snark, for lack of a better word, that is present in her voice lines here. Like in the client, she's a lot more, I guess, genuine from some, like, she expresses a lot more empathy and concern and care. And here it's a lot more, again, like this sort of flippant snarkiness in my mind kind of lines up perfectly with just some regular teenage girl just happens to be in this weird Vestayan bunny body. You know what I mean? Like,
I think, like knowing more about the lore helps. I think without knowing the lore, the voice would seem very disconnected from the character. I guess like knowing that she's a scientist, knowing that she's awkward, knowing that she doesn't like being around people kind of makes it all make sense. But yeah, it's strictly from the visual design. I think maybe not a lot of that comes through as much.
I think even with the scientist thing, I think as we're talking about it, I'm finding I kind of have a little distaste for Aurora in at least some of the way she's voiced and written in her voice. It's hard too because like maybe this would land better if I had spent time with her in game and it would like start to feel more like, oh yeah, that's Aurora the character. But the scientist thing doesn't really come through in the way that she's written to me. When I think of someone who's like a socially, detached, scientist type, like think like a Mordin type from Mass Effect, right? Mm-hmm. And the way he talks and the way he explains his thoughts and things. And with her, it doesn't really. It kind of lacks. I'm trying to find the word for it. It kind of lacks like. I want maybe more obsessive, more attention to detail, more over-explaining, more kind of following rabbit trails of thought. To such a degree where it's like if you were interacting with her, you might have to kind of pull her back out to be able to pull her back out of whatever it is that she's kind of diving directly into. But it doesn't really come through in the lines, at least as I read them.
Now, was that an intentional use of the word rabbit hole?
Every now and then. No, it's just,
That's just off the dome, baby.
But I don't know. It could also be that this is not a character that I resonate with a lot. So it might just be a personal thing. It could easily be that,
I think some of I guess the read I got on it was that some of the voice lines were there to save us from the rabbit holes, as it were. It seems like we're coming in maybe at the end as she's lost the attention of her audience, so we don't have to listen to it. It's more of a favor.
I guess that's fair. I'm open. I'm open to that. I think it's like, I want her to be. I want them to like index harder into some of that maybe with her, because I think that it would be more of a standout character personality than this. That kind of feels like I can think of many other games where I've seen similarly written protagonists, is what I'll say, or characters. And I don't care for those games or those characters. That's the best thing I can say about it. So anyway, I don't want to harp too much on the voice line stuff. What's she got on the universe page?
Oh, on the universe page, as expected these days, she only has a bio.
By Elise Lemoyne.
Oh, thank you. All right, so here is her bio. Aurora, basically, to sum up, she's the kid in the Sixth Sense. That's how I kind of was imagining her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She was a not so normal Vestayan in the Frejlord. Aurora lived in a village called Emu. Do we know? It's AAMU. AAMU.
AAMU.
She could see things that other people couldn't, and no one really believed she was actually seeing those things. She did have an aunt named Havu, though, who taught Aurora to love herself as she is, so Aurora eventually became very comfortable with her own company. Over time, Aurora realized that these critters that she was seeing were actually spirits. She seems to be able to, be the only one around who can see both the material realm and the spirit realm simultaneously. She started to study them, and as time went on, she was seeing more spirits. Some of them seem to be struggling. Aurora describes them as wayward. They're kind of more wild than the other spirits, but she's able to help them by getting to the root of, whatever their problem is. Aurora wanted to learn more, so she left home. She eventually came across a wayward elk. She was able to get him to trust her, but no matter what she did, she wasn't able to figure out, what's wrong with him or how to help. Aurora found other spirit walkers in the Frejlord, though, and she was told to find Udir. Udir wasn't much help. Not able. He's like, I don't know, man. But go find the demigods.
He does, right? He does just, ponder out,
right?
I don't know, just like a fucking Volibear or something.
This whole thing was just if there were an MMO, this would absolutely be one of the fucking fetch quests in the MMO. Just a bunch of assholes trying to be like, I don't fucking know, go talk to this person.
I know.
Bunch of shifters. Well, she gets the Volibear. Volibear's like, I don't know, go talk to Udir.
God
This is
damn
my
it.
department.
Suddenly Udir knows the answer.
I was reading it. I was like, oh, this is perfect. She's going to pair up with Udir. Oh, nope, she's gone. She had to leave. It took her a little while, but she was able to find Ornn. He wasn't really fond of her at first, but eventually realized that she was pretty quiet and she kind of liked to research on her own the same way he did. So eventually Ornn told Aurora the elk she found was called Hestrier?
Yep, Hestrier.
Hestrier, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hestrier was once called Hestrel and was a demigod, one of Ornn's siblings. But as the old gods faded from memory, a lot of the demigods became like these shadows of themselves. Seems like Ornn, Volibear, and Anivia might be the only ones who are still together. I don't know. Mentally, Anyway, Aurora now wants to find Ornn's other siblings. She refers to them as Isarn and Valhir, but we know them as Anivia and Volibear. She believes that finding them will allow her to finally help Hestrier. And that's Esther. That's what we got for. It's so exciting to see Anivia mentioned, even if they didn't say her name.
Right? Yeah.
Is this
I was gonna say I've become an Anivia one trick since we did Anivia way back in the day.
Yeah.
So it really resonates.
It's just after Song of Nunu, I was really looking forward to maybe seeing Anivia in that, and we saw a statue and a couple people talked about her, but that was it. And
just
this is
surprising
making me
given how much of the story was about Anivia.
Sure, yeah.
And this gives me hope that maybe we'll see Anivia again in something.
Right.
Poor Anivia.
Or Isarn.
Sure.
Or Isarn. Whatever.
The fact that they've given her, the old Frejlord name does spark a little hope.
Mm-hmm.
What that says to me is that some narrative meeting happened, and they're like, okay, in the future, Anivia is going to be more like, this is what we're going to do with her.
Yeah.
Here's the bullet points, and it's tacked up on a wall somewhere.
not iceboxed, as it were.
Hey.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Yeah, what y'all think of the bio?
Mostly good. I think there were just a few things that confused me, I guess, when I compared the bio to the short or the in-client game. Just things I kind of wasn't clear about, but it's kind of like Freljordian Yorick, the Fjorick, if you will.
Sure. I had that thought too, and I like her a lot more than Yorick. Yeah. I think because she has really good actionable, clear goals. There's checkpoints. If she gets to Anivia, she's making some progress, right?
Yeah.
Rather than just I want to heal all the spirits in the Frejlord, which is some endless task that's very Yoricky. So I like her setups a lot in that way. And I guess I wish we maybe had more about Hestrier, or what did Ornn say the name was properly? Hestrelk or something like that?
Oh, Hestrelk? Yeah. Oh, there was a K at the end?
Well, so it's two he kind of had two names, it seemed. It was Hestrelk or Hestrier. He was kind of referred to, maybe one like, I think Hestrelk might be the Anivia to Anivia's Isarn.
Okay.
It's a lot closer, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
I'm curious if they're the progenitor of like the Kellerels that we saw in Song of Nunu.
Yeah.
I was thinking of them. Yeah, in Song of Nunu, in case anybody listening to this hasn't gone through that, there is one, right?
Yeah,
that helps.
One.
Yeah, that helps Nunu out.
It
and
feels
Nunu
intentional.
It has to be, right, to have like the spirit elk in Song of Nunu and then Aurora. That'd be a wild coincidence,
right?
Right. Especially since that's where they kind of set their foot down. It's like, okay, going forward, this is all going to be factually canon. Yeah. Yeah, I wish we had maybe a little more about Hestrelk, either in the bio or maybe through like her quotes or something, because it's such a strong, that relationship, I guess, is such a strong motivator. Like, it's driving her whole quest, right? And even in like her death quotes, a couple of them are about like, oh, just Hestrelk, I want to save you. Ugh. You know, some getting more personality from Hestrelk could be good. Knowing more about him. Also, I think my call just dropped again.
Oh, there we go. We got him back.
Okay. Whew. Anyway, I think you'll get my
yes.
my
yeah.
drift.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see more of that. I think more of that focus. I think that'd be good for something that is a driving her narrative forward.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny. So they mentioned that even her parents didn't understand her, believing Aurora's friends were merely imaginary because she could, see spirits. And like, I can see why. Like, spirits, like in the Frejlord, fucking crazy. Who would think of such a thing? Now, come on back here, you half human, half rabbit creatures, so that we can give offerings to the spirits of the bear, ram, and phoenix. Like,
it's written in such a way that I had to actually recheck that, like, she wasn't some weird outlier of Vestayan amongst a bunch of humans. It genuinely confused me for a second. Because Vestayans, if anybody's going to be... So I did read the Champion Insights, because there's not a lot for her, so I read it. And they do give, I want to say, a little bit of a hand wave for that in there. Like, oh, they're so disconnected from Ionia that, they still have access to the spirit magic. It just doesn't manifest, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, whatever. I don't know. Maybe...
Right.
I don't know. It just feels he wanted her to be this... she's Paranorman. Again, she's just a Paranorman, but, Frejlord bunny girl Paranorman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for the record, if you do read Aurora, I would also recommend reading the Insights. I feel like a lot of useful information about Aurora does come from there. Like, to Mark's point there about them losing the magic, they mentioned that they're basically their version of the magic, like what they have left now, is like they're kind of farmers, they'll make carrots, but they're extra juicy. That's like what's left of their magic.
Okay.
God, I hope Volibear doesn't find out.
Yeah, right.
They're growing once, and they're juicy, full of water.
There better not be water in there.
Full of weak ice. Ice-filled carrots.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how well that cottontails with like if you look at Zion, right? With like Zion Rakan and that whole shtick where it's like if they're disconnected from the magic, they literally die. Right? It's like, okay, seems like we're kind of ignoring some of that so that we can have our own little I don't know, I don't know, man.
They seem very...
I do like...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you.
You're so defeated.
Whatever.
Kind of like with Yordles, it just seems very inconsistent the way they treat Vestayans. I think it's just they don't feel connected at all, I guess.
Right. Like, I think they kind of wanted to go out of the way to show that Vestayans are everywhere, right? I think that was like a big thrust of
which I like.
Aurora too. Yeah, like it's good that they're everywhere, but I think they had established so much lore about the Vestayans in Ionia that now everywhere else they pop up, they need to come up with justification.
That's true.
Sure. I'm sure there's some there's some Rioter response and some Reddit thread about like, well, the Ionian Vestians have been so entwined with the Ionian magic that they needed to survive, but elsewhere they found their own sustenance. Like, okay, whatever, I don't know. It doesn't
like
matter
juicy
that
carrots.
much. Like juicy carrots, right? It doesn't matter that much. I don't want to get too up my ass about it, but I did, like I said, I do like that I really was happy that they didn't say she's some new random creature or race or something. It's like, no, she's just a Vestian. Thank God.
So there was another quote here that said, "Lost and wild, many of the spirits had become wayward when the balance between realms was disturbed by mortal affairs." And I was kind of hoping that the bio was going to get into a bit more information about all that conversation we had with Udir earlier as to like, why is it bad that Ash is trying to unify people?
Yeah.
And we get that a little bit in her quotes, but I still don't have I still don't fucking know. Like,
yeah,
I think
she's got the quote about like unification is not.
She says unity is not harmony. Yes, I read it a bunch of times trying to kind of figure out.
Still don't know why what Sejuani's doing is better than what Ash is doing.
I think the way I was kind of seeing the quote is that pushing people together without solving the disagreement isn't going to work, I guess, like because you're unifying everybody without harmonizing, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's some other quote. I think it's in the gosh almighty. It might even be in the in-client event or something like that. I could be wrong. Maybe it might be the in-client event for her where they make mention of. Maybe it's the bio. I wish I could remember where it was specifically of Volibear doing what he does to try and sate like the bloodlust of the land itself. They use the old name for Frejlord, that starts with a V. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Oh yeah.
That like what he does is like is to try and, you know what I mean. So it's like okay, if there's some sort of greater spirit of the land that needs there to be conflict, and if not, it causes problems. Okay, I'm open to that.
Yeah.
But I will say, I had this exact thought. I was like, Riot, stop trying to make Ash's wrong happen. It's not gonna fucking happen. Okay, Ash is not like there's enough going on with the Ash conflict and with her as a character. You don't need to make her also wrong in her goal, right?
Yeah.
You don't do it. Stop it. Fucking stop.
So
yeah.
There was another quote. They said, "Undeterred, she convinced the afflicted elk to travel with her, using her powers to tuck him away in the spirit realm as she worked to unravel his mystery." And I have a few questions. Is this just something she can do? She can bring people into the spirit realm with her? If so, her parents' confusion seems very unlikely. But maybe she can just bring people who originated in the spirit realm. If so, I have additional questions.
Yeah,
but
I didn't understand that line at all.
Information on that.
I kind of assumed just because it was a spirit or whatever, and you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a Pokeball, right? It's like you need a way to walk around with your big elk thing, but you know, sometimes doorways are small. So what are you gonna fucking do? Put them in the spirit realm, right?
It's your Pokeball. I sort of imagine her parents weren't still confused about the fact that she sees spirits now that she's older and she can explain it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because when she was really little, she didn't know that's what she was seeing, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm open to that. I'd be interested to have her interact with someone. I don't know. I guess there's not a lot for her, so I shouldn't be asking for like weird shit. But it'd be cool to see her interact with like a Shin type or someone else.
I was thinking
really
Shin
far away.
specifically. Yes. Mm-hmm. Because she has a quote at Yone.
Yeah.
That I thought was interesting. That he kills these spirits instead of trying to help them. But
seems
I'm like
pretty judgmental. I feel like his spirits are very different than your spirits,
such
Aurora.
Different spirits, Aurora. I think she needs to take a look at what some of those spirits are doing. That spirit was about to kill a child in that one Yone story we read.
Yeah, her and Seraphine should hook up. It's like, have you considered like listening?
But maybe just like be friends, though, is the thing.
Maybe if we sing a song.
Yeah.
I also love. So we mentioned that she went to Udir, and Udir was like, I don't know, talk to the gods, and she did find her way to Ornn right after that, or like eventually after that.
Yeah.
What do you think would have happened if she went to one of the other ones first?
Especially Volibear.
Volibear
right?
first? Like is she just dead or what?
That would be so fucking funny.
That's a good question, to be honest with you.
No. I don't necessarily know that Volibear would kill her.
I don't know.
Not the Volibear from Song of Nunu.
No,
that one wouldn't have killed her. Every other version of Volibear we've heard about, I feel like, would certainly try. And she does have a quote towards Volibear. She seems to at least be somewhat resistant to the magic that he brings to other people. Like, she does have that, like, I can feel you in my mind, Volibear. Stop that. You little silly Billy.
Silly Billy, right? Yeah. You know, I find it really interesting, the idea that the elk is like one of the siblings that has, like, I don't know, slid down the evolutionary ladder a bunch to where it's just an animal. That's really interesting. And maybe Volibear would be kind of okay letting her do her thing if it meant more people would get back to the old ways, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
I can see that. I don't know. Like in the in-game event, I don't know if we're going to talk about it separately a bunch. I'm kind of just peppering it in here.
Yeah.
But like, when Ornn realizes what Hestrir is, he's just sort of like, oh yeah, that's one of my siblings. Right? He's like, no, like, oh man, it sucks to see you like this, bro, or sis, or whatever.
I was like, not only that, but like, I think he identified that it was one of his siblings pretty immediately. And
it's like one of the first things that happens.
Yeah, would not help her. She had to do all of the cleaning out his whole home first before he would do anything. But like, knew the whole time that it was his sibling that she was trying to save.
I'm curious if maybe they have quite a lot of siblings and they're aware that this is what has happened to them. Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe Ornn feels it all inside, you know?
That's certainly
a lot of emotion behind that big old mustache and beard.
Yeah, Anivia might, I don't know, show more emotion about it. Or maybe Volibear would.
Volibear probably would the most. He's very... he wears his heart on his sleeve, as it were.
For sure,
if he were to wear sleeves, you know? If he wasn't hanging dong 24/7. But,
thankfully.
Right.
They took all that armor off of him.
Yeah, I'm open more to the idea that Ornn maybe felt something and then just didn't express it. That's pretty in line with him, you know? And I think it would be neat, the idea that, like, yeah, there used to be dozens of them. So big that there was no end to their banquet hall or some somewhat fluffy way of saying it. Oops. And now it's just the three of them. That's very sad when you think about it in that context.
And they don't even get along or like each other. They all had a sibling they were way closer to.
Right. Everyone's got their favorite.
They're like, oh, I'm stuck with these two a-holes.
It would make sense too, because if this is unconfirmed, but if if Hestrir is the progenitor of the Kellerel, the Kellerel was fucking massive. Yeah. And Hestrir is not. It's way more Aurora sized. So it would kind of highlight, like, at one point it probably was massive, like when people worshipped it and believed in it and everything. Like, there was probably a point where this thing was so fucking huge that if it gave birth to a Kellerel, the Kellerel would be a smaller version of it.
Sure. Yeah. I find it interesting that Udyr didn't send her to, or didn't mention, like, the Seal Sister, because we know that the Seal Sister... Does he not know that? Surely he knows that from the bio. I can't remember if it was ever established that he 100% knew it was one of the old demigods there, but it seemed like
he did, right?
Yeah.
I don't see why he would have gone through the trouble of playing her games otherwise,
Yeah. I don't know.
Forgot about that story.
Maybe the writers did too, or maybe it's. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he's got his own reasons. That whole thing is... we even said it when we were doing the Udyr episode that it is just like a weird little paragraph that just is added in there for some reason, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess kind of transitioning into the Inclined game, because this kind of is a question I had that bridges the two. So, first thing that Aurora does when she encounters the Hearth Home is she opens a path to the spirit realm to get into Ornn's forge. she senses that there should be something there and isn't, so she pops on into the spirit realm, and then it's like, there it is, and then just kind of walks in. And then as a reward for all of her hard work in the forge and, just kind of being a good person, according to Ornn and all that, Ornn makes her a wand that lets her open portals to the spirit realm.
Thanks, Ornn.
I'm confused as to as to what seems like she can already do that.
She opens really small portals. She's got to squeeze in every time. It's hard to get in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember any specific lines of dialogue about that portal at the start. I do remember what you're talking about. So I don't know. Maybe the portal was already there, and that's how she got in. I don't know. I don't remember. All I remember is like a single panel in like one of the little comic, interludes or like prologue, whatever. And there's like obviously a spirit realm portal that she goes through. Yeah. That's all I remember about it specifically.
Let me see if I can find this real quick.
You know what's wild about that comic or that thing is at the very start there's a bunch of fucking Swain ravens.
I know, that was
right.
And they mention it too. There's like a quote somewhere about those ravens. I think one of her in-game quotes or something like that. They mention those ravens.
She has one to Swain where she does recognize that he's got the demon stuck on him.
And like, it'd be wild for her to have any quote towards Swain, given where she is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's interesting, though. That's an interesting thread if they're going to pluck it.
Okay, so I have the quote here. This is after she got to the Hearth home and didn't find anything there. Aurora knew this was not as it appeared. Using her ability to open a doorway between realms, she stepped inside and was met with the Great Hall of Ornn's Forge.
I forgot it's the bio that describes what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was a goof.
Sure.
When you write two pieces of information about someone, it's really hard to get the information correct.
Okay, I get that, but like they just said that they're gonna
that was
get
sarcasm, Mark.
Correct. I know that, but I really want to make it clear. Like,
I know,
like literally, y'all.
Also, is this the first time the short or not the short story, the Incline game? Is this the first time we're getting Ornn's old name? Have we heard that before? The Ramharuk.
I feel like I've heard it before somewhere, but I couldn't.
Not like that, but who has?
Yeah, I feel like I've heard it before, but I could not tell you where. I'm sure there's some Legends of Runeterra card that has a quote or some bullshit,
I do like that we have everyone's old name now. I know I was excited when we got the Volibear old name. I'm happy to have everyone's now. Feels like we've completed the Trinity. Even though the Trinity apparently has dozens of...
So many. So many of them. The old gods were busy.
I mean, I guess that tracks. Yeah, I mean, I guess did we want to go through the story of the game? It's...
Was it called The Spirit of Hearthhome?
It was called The Spirit of Hearthhome.
Nice.
Sure.
I was gonna say, I hope Mark has notes about the story because I want to take it.
I don't. I did rewatch most of it on that playthrough thing, and then I was actively rewatching it, and then you texted me that you're ready to go, so I stopped. I mean, the quick summary is it kind of goes through what is described in the bio of her showing up at Hearthhome and meeting Ornn. She shows up, and Ornn's not terribly happy to have her there. He kind of just wants to be left alone, and she starts just organizing his shit and cleaning up his workspace, and it's all kind of wrapped in these little, click and, like object find, hidden object puzzle, and you kind of have to rearrange some books, and you have to weigh different pieces of ore to figure out like the correct order of the ores, and the thing that I kind of liked about it that we see through it is that even though Ornn is, he's very like gruff and doesn't, is like just kind of fuck off on the outside, there's a lot of like him talking. It's all kind of, what am I trying to say? It's all him kind of reminiscing about the event, right? And so in his memory, he's kind of talking about like, how much he actually kind of liked her ultimately, and found her presence there to be a happy one. and so we kind of see him kind of, I don't know, loosening up a little bit in regards to Aurora. And I think, like you said at the end, I don't remember the exact way it ends. I know it's like she puts his books back together in order and plays some songs and shit, and then he gives her a wand. I don't remember like what the resolution is regarding like how, I assume it's what the bio says. He points her in the direction of like his siblings to kind of solve the Hestia problem.
And in addition to that, I mean, she comes back and visits him from time to time. Like we find out that basically this entire thing was just him retelling her the story of how they met, and on like not only the things that we're seeing about what Ornn is feeling, like not only is he feeling that, but he's feeling comfortable enough to tell Aurora that he's feeling that, which was pretty cute. And then after he finishes telling the story, she's like, again, and then he just starts up again. It's very adorable.
I like them two's relationship.
It's very cute.
At least what the little bit that develops in it.
It's really
funny,
sweet.
like, yeah, it's funny. This is like the thing for her, but because it's all told so much from Ornn, I feel like it really works to add a little bit of extra flavor to Ornn and help me get into his head more than anything.
Yeah, for sure. It did remind me of that part of Song of Nunu when you're at Ornn's forge and you're also doing things for him, so he'll tell you information that you need.
He doesn't.
Guy hasn't had a visitor in like 200 years, and then these two kids come.
I kind of wish he made reference
precocious.
to that.
Me too. I agree. I think that would have been really, it would have been a fun nod for people who had played Song of Nunu to hint at that in some way. I think he appreciates Aurora's presence a little bit more. Nunu is, a loud little kid, loud, nosy little child.
He doesn't keep to himself.
No,
he does not
is said
baby-proof
to.
that fucking forge.
Absolutely not. As we found out,
All the
we fell
outlets.
into the lava.
Yeah.
All the outlets. Oh my God, Poppy found like a plug today and then ran over and was trying to put it in the outlet and was pissed that she couldn't because I have them covered. And I was like, that's fucking smart though. You were trying to plug that in because you've never seen that plugged in before. My little genius who doesn't know how to take out the outlet covers.
It's got a little baby
That's
fingers.
a two-step process.
She does have little baby fingers.
I liked I feel like part of the mini games on initial view would seem very weird because like we mentioned, you use a scale to measure a bunch of different ores to figure out like, oh, this is the these are which ones weigh the most, and you can organize them in order of weight. And he's like, oh, this would take... Ornn's like, this would take so many years to finish. And Aurora's like, I'm done. And initially it would seem weird, like, why on earth would that take years? Like, that seems crazy. But I feel like actually walking through the forge in Song of Nunu, when you see how big everything likely is here, like... it's real easy to put the ore on the scales in a point-and-click adventure. Probably took fucking forever for
even his books.
For Aurora. Yeah,
are his books gigantic?
His books are gigantic.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I like the idea that he doesn't actually. I like the idea that it wouldn't actually take years. He's just exceptionally not lazy, but just like he lacks the activation energy to do shit, which I can sympathize with real hard.
Yes.
He's a big procrastinator. And then B, I like the idea that he doesn't ever clean anything because he knows someone wanting something is going to come by and they're like, oh, you gotta do my dishes if you want to know about this shit.
That's great. I wish that anybody ever needed anything from me because I would do that too.
Right? That lends
some
credence.
value to somebody.
I wish I had some value to this world. So many people came for my help.
Dark. I was going to say that would lend credence to the whole Ornn leaving that passage open type things, like, oh, I haven't done dishes in like 2 millennia, time to open the passage again and welcome in a random visitor.
Like, I have no clean shirts. I need somebody to...
Right, that's what you gotta do, man.
Oh fuck, I gotta accrue some ancient knowledge. I got a sibling. You want to find out where she's at? You gotta come do my laundry. Oh man.
Last thing I loved here was when Ornn was making her the wand. First of all, it's like half wood and half whatever.
It's half wood and half
whatever fucking magical shit
Play-Doh or whatever.
But he's using his like massive ass Ornn forge anvil and hammer to like make this wand.
Just like toothpick for it.
Yeah, and then you like see him take it off, and it just like it doesn't even like it's not the length of his hand, and he's just like handing it over to Aurora. It's like the tiniest fucking thing. He's using the biggest ass hammer to forge.
It's like a splinter. It sticks in him. Oh fuck.
That's how he had to hit the anvil until a piece popped off of it.
Master craftsmanship.
Master craftsmanship.
What's a master craftsman?
Quack back on your cheese. Oh, it's so hot down here. Anyway. It was a cute event.
Yeah, it was good. It was a fun game. Like, I know they did kind of like the in-game Briar thing, and then they're like, we're gonna do more in-game stuff, and then
they hadn't yet.
Yeah, and then we got fire flame boy.
Milio.
Smolder.
Nope. Dragon.
Spyro.
Smolder. Then we got Smolder, and we got fucking nothing. We're
Straight
like,
up I forgot about the Smolder.
They're just not going to do that anymore. So I was so excited that we actually got some shit there. It was fun. It was cute. More of that, right? I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think I logged in and saw it was up, and I immediately just sat down for 20-30 minutes and played it. And I think you messaged me on Facebook, was like, Mark, did you see this thing? I was like, I played it
done, bitch.
Got into the client. Yeah, I completely agree. I was going to ask what y'all thought about the idea of like this in place of a color story, and I like it. I think I prefer it. Assuming it's like a color story of average quality. If it was something that was just immaculately written, whatever. But
right, the average color story. You know, I definitely prefer this to the average color story.
But, you know.
Yeah, not to be a dick, but you know, there's some color stories out there that are better than others.
I would say most of the color stories are just showing us a little moment like this anyway. So clicking through it is more fun and interesting for sure.
Yeah.
It's not like replacing The Boys of Bombolini, which is incredible writing. You know what I mean? So.
For sure. For sure. Anyway. I like it. There are a couple things that really I remembered or stuck out to me from this. I like that she makes some pun. She says like rampage. You really went on a rampage or something like that. And like the complete response is like complete deadpan non-reaction. And then his like narrative after or voiceover afterwards is like, I still laugh about that, which I thought was kind of cute. And something else I thought was interesting is like, so when you organize the books, you hover over them and it tells you the little like a summary of the contents, right?
Yeah.
And the two that I remembered is the first one was about, I think it was from the Ornn books. The last one is supposed to be like supposed like potential future of the Frejlord, and she makes mention of like, oh, the author has a real bias. I'm more hopeful, which makes me curious what that might be about.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then the other one is in one of the Volibear ones. It makes mention of something in the past where he fought this thing called Rom. And if you play Legends of Runeterra, there is a big card called Rom. It's like a big fire serpent that Volibear is related to Volibear, which makes it's interesting the idea that maybe some of the stuff that's happening in Runeterra is like, or in Legends of Runeterra is in the past, right? Something that is not like is canon, but is like very far away from what's happening now. It's an interesting way of kind of like I don't know, folding it in. You can't see me because we're not doing the video right now, but I'm gathering up all the shit to me right now.
Okay.
You know? So, I don't know. I thought the little book summaries in general were kind of neat. It was a really neat way of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Give me some insight into the world.
Bit.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I have a few quotes from her here too that I enjoyed. Sure. A few of them we kind of already talked about. We talked about the Ash one. Actually, God, I talked about most of these. We talked about the Ash one. I have the Swain one in here. Like, I recognize those ravens. Are you their owner, or did they own you?
Ooh.
I've got the Volibear one in here. I can feel you trying to invade my mind, Valhyr. Cut it out. And then the last one I had was her quote towards Yumi, which is like, toe beans.
She has a good quote towards, she says it to both Lulu and Vhagar. She says, same hat, same hat.
Fun fact about this, you know, she's supposed to be like a rabbit, Vestaya, and they do not have toe beans, so her excitement over this justified.
Oh.
You know, now you know.
I was really wondering about her toes. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know what the people want. Actually, there was a pretty funny bit in the Champion Insights about that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He was like,
that shit.
yeah, he's like, the artist was like, I knew that I would need to draw feet, so I needed to go down a Google search that I can never undo.
Just about rabbit feet?
About anthropomorphic rabbit feet.
Rabbit feet, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Sexy rabbit feet.
Sexy rabbit feet.
Let's be fucking clear here. Did you see, this is not really related to anything, but since we're just bullshitting, did you see when they had updated her splash art to give her like a fatter ass? Don't see that?
I did.
No. What?
Did they give her that Pixar dump truck?
Dude, there's a great post like on the server like, oh, her splash has been updated. They just thicked her out. It's just like, whatever, I'm not complaining. They had an idea and I'll just give it to them for like, I guess like I'll give it to them for just like bold face, like, yeah, it's the sexy bunny girl. That's the that's the champion, right? Like,
we got to give her the old Judy Hopps.
Right, and they went in and they're like, you know what, more. Just
like
to the right.
God, John.
Anyway, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. The comments on that thread were very funny. I just found it to be very. It's I don't know. Since we're talking about it.
Well, she has one AU. You want to hear about it?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I don't even know what it is.
It is. You're not going to believe this. Anima Squad.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
The bunny people. Humankind is on its last legs, nearly defeated by a high-tech army of deep-sea invaders called the Primordians. Enter Anima Squad, elite fighters using salvaged Primordian tech to push back against the end of the world. To save humanity, they will have to fight like an animal. This is Battle Bunny Aurora. As Anima Squad's sole research specialist, Aurora uses her understanding of the Primordians and PhD in bioengineering to translate and adapt Primordian technology. While her work has led to incredible advancements in Anima Squad's equipment, her true passion is helping the world understand Primordians as she does. And this is, I don't know if either of y'all hopped onto the PBE yet, but this is also like coinciding with the Anima Squad Swarm event, which, boy, when that shit comes on live,
that is going to
be my life for a while. Shit is so fun.
Really? I mean, I definitely want to try that out. We definitely got to do it.
Yeah, we got to play it together. It's fun.
Yeah.
John and I played Vampire Survivors, so we kind of have like a
good basis.
Yeah, we know how to play
base knowledge to build on. Mm-hmm. It is, it's great. This is, I hope they keep it around for a while. Because, I mean, Vampire Survivors has been around for a while, and it seems like they've got a lot of content in this. Like, they have, at least from what I could see, like something like 4 or 5 at least unlockable maps, kind of like Vampire Survivors. They've got, like, I think there was something like 8 or 9 characters you can unlock. They've got, like, the whole weapon system with the upgrades, and yeah, I mean, it was a ton of fun. I can't wait to play it. I was playing by myself, which, again, I can't believe they let you do. It seems like so much server space, but, like, I'm super pumped about it, but I can't wait to play it with you guys, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, likewise. Sure.
So if something
I don't know much about it.
happened to me as you were doing the skin. I wanted to look up the skin, and I usually will be like, Zig skins, and then I'll click on the wiki, or I'll do like Zig skins wiki. So I put in Aurora skins, and the first thing that comes up is a Reddit post. Big Chungus custom skin for Aurora.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which there's a video, hun, for you.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, it's actually the Big Chungus.
It's actually the Big Chungus, like Bugs Bunny.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, God. Anyway, that's why I started cracking up. Anywho.
You want to hear some fun facts?
I do.
Yeah.
So Aurora is voiced by Emery Chase, who had this quote to say about her experience, or their experience. Having the opportunity to bring the autistic traits that I've spent a lot of time hiding to a role like this has truly changed my life. This has been the most amazing, surreal experience, and I'm so grateful.
Neat.
And in the insights, it was specified that Aurora is on the autism spectrum, although this concept is not acknowledged in the world of Runeterra. Many members of Aurora's dev team and Riot overall were inspired to share some of their experiences as people on the spectrum, because for them, she was a chance to bring a part of their lives to the game they love. And while it's impossible to fully encapsulate the autistic experience because it is a spectrum, because everyone's experience is so different, there are a lot of things that a lot of us do that we wanted to capture, like toe walking, which is really common. And that's actually an interesting thing they mentioned about her in particular, is that she walks on her toes. The rest of the people in her tribe don't. That's just kind of a her thing.
Oh, okay.
And let's see. We know it's not something everyone does. We wanted to kind of capture not just the common autism experience a lot of us have had, but the most basic part of having autism, which is that the way our brains work, the way we view the world, it doesn't match the expectations that others have, and that's really what we want to shine through for Aurora. She shouldn't meet expectations. Now, originally there was a version of Aurora's ult where everyone could use her portals.
Oh.
So one of the biggest issues that happened around the ult moving enemies around the ring as well was that opponents would get super disoriented, and that was not fun for them. The other problem was that if they didn't get disoriented, sometimes they were very good at using it to their advantage, which kind of made it a waste of an ult that was just better for the enemy than for you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know what her abilities are. I have no idea what any of it is.
Oh, so her ult kind of almost does a bit of like a spirit realm type thing, or almost like a Mordekaiser type thing, right? Where she opens a circle of spirit realm, and she can go through one end of the circle and then come out the other end of the circle. And kind of like hop around. Kinda? Yeah, exactly. So she can hop around like that. And if the enemy tries to get out, then they kind of get pushed back towards the middle instead. And one of the things they said there was the inspiration for this was kind of getting lost in the Lost Woods in Zelda. It was a formative experience, and I wanted her ult to give you a similar feeling. You try to get out, and you're just teleported back to the center.
Gotta listen to the song. Or follow the monkey. Depends on the game you're playing.
And so her original champion design was to just steal enemy spells. It was determined that felt a little too evil, so they just swapped her kit over to Silas.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And then they iceboxed her for a bit, and they ended up giving some of her original personality over to Lilia. They had done a lot of work to flesh out like the spirit realm when they were working on her, so all of the work they did for that informed how they built Yone after that.
Okay.
So she didn't get released till now, but all the work they did for her kind of shaped from Silas on.
Interesting. Wow.
And a lot of the spear stuff too ended up shaping the fiddle lore that they remade.
Oh.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. Also, Aurora is the first prey animal Vastaya.
Huh. That's true.
So the design team had to figure out what the gameplay fantasy is for something that is primarily prey.
That's an interesting challenge.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
And just being like such a scientist. When you're reading her too, like she's not learning how to fight or training or anything like that, right? Like,
yeah. Aurora and Lysandra are the only 2 champions who have the title Witch in their aliases. And Aurora is only the 2nd champion in League of Legends to wear glasses.
I figured it had to be low because I was looking. I was like, wow, she has glasses on. I can't,
And the first one is Vayne, who just has shades.
She's like,
Aurora likes to crochet.
aw.
Yeah. The orange splotches on Aurora's skin follow a Turing pattern, similar to a leopard's spots. It's just like any sort of kind of predictable spot pattern. And the Aurora subrace, I want to say the Brinai. That's how I'm going to...
Sure. Or Brinny, but...
Yeah, that sounds kind of like Bunny. I like that. We're going to go with Brinny. Yeah. Has a lot of similarity to the Vieri, or the Viera from Final Fantasy.
Oh.
So they have a solitary society, only come together out of necessity. The etymology is the same. These are kind of like if you've seen them, the Final Fantasy bunny people. The etymology of the Slavic word faith, which matches the Vestaya's custom of seeing spirits on the earthly plane. So, that's fun.
That was a really fun fact, honey.
Yeah. That's all the fun facts.
Sorry, my call is bouncing in and out during a little bit of that last fun fact, so that's why I'm not reacting. It's not that it wasn't a fun fact, okay? Let's make that clear.
No, it's fine. You
I
know what?
thought
Strike that last fun fact from the record. It's done.
Never,
it's stupid.
honey.
Whatever.
Jesus. Anyway, any more thoughts on Aurora?
No.
I think they set her up for some fun future interactions. I'd love to see... I would love to see some new Anivia lore coming out. I think
I know. Fucking anything,
really
please.
feels like they're paving the way for it, and I'd be so bummed if we don't get it. Like they've done through Song of Nunu, through this, like we don't have a lot of great new Anivia lore, and it just, unless we're just really misreading the tea leaves here, it seems like they want to move that direction. So just make it happen. I'd be happy.
Sure. Yeah. I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah. They've been doing a lot with the Frejlord lately in general, and a lot with Shurima, and a lot of hints about the Void. So, not saying it, but the Void event.
MMO. Oh.
Oh. No, the MMO is 10 years away, at least.
Yeah. Speaking of Frejlord, by the way, did you guys see that Braum just got confirmed as the new fighting game character?
Oh, no.
Just thought I'd throw that in there.
I forgot there was going to be a fighting game. Or is a fighting game?
I think it's in, like, you can sign up to play. I don't think it's live, but...
Oh, okay. I don't play fighting games, so it's not...
Yeah, not my style. But
No.
saw that it was released. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that was Aurora. Thank you so much for listening. We have a Twitch, twitch.tv/Loreheads. We were on a bit of a break, but we should be back by the time this is posted. I usually stream Tuesdays and Fridays, and Sean streams on Saturdays in the evenings, EST. And in about a month-ish time, we'll be doing our live stream for Zyra. When that comes up. I haven't done the math yet, so I'll make sure there's a date announcement.
A few weeks in advance.
Yeah, a little bit in advance. We'll try to set like a time for it. It'll probably be like 8:30 or 9 EST, but it is hard because we're doing it based on when our children fall asleep. So that can be a little unpredictable. We have a YouTube as well if you want to see our guns are out because it's hot down here. You can head on over.
Quick.
Oh, yeah.
Just because we haven't had the video on, I want to show you real quick what I've been drinking out of this whole time.
Ooh, I love it.
Can you see? You see me?
Not yet.
It'll show up. I swear to God, the video will show.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
Don't worry
Still
about
loading.
it. I'll show it to you afterwards.
All right.
It's,
Yeah,
let it keep
it's a
going.
giant sign. It's about over a foot tall. I don't know.
Oh, shit. All right.
Okay. We also have a Discord. You want to join the Discord and find some people to play League with or post some funny memes? Please do that. Yeah. And we have a Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons, Mr. Dead and King of Hearts. If You were looking for information about one of my siblings, and you brought one of my half-dead siblings in to try and help them.
Oh, God.
I would help you right away, and I wouldn't make you clean my whole house first.
Just at least like the basement, okay?
Yeah, the basement's pretty bad down here, John.
What?
No, I mean, like, it's like not that bad. It's like just a little bit cleaning, just to show that they're serious.
Well, please be sure to join us next week because we are going to talk about the Chrono Keeper Zillion.